Hello Whiskey Tube, Brothers Barrel here with you again, and just me today, so single barrel. This could be the single barrel series, except this has nothing to do with single barrels, so never mind, scratch that. I'm your host, Harrison, with you today, going to talk about the topic of bourbon hunting in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Let's get into it. This is so bad. I don't even have a mic. So by the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what bottles I got, the price range that I got them for, and the places that I got them at. Alright, reasons people don't hunt in British Columbia, Victoria, Canada. I have a couple reasons why I think that might be. I didn't really do too much Redditing research on that topic very much so, but I didn't see any videos on YouTube about people doing any hunting of any kind, whiskey hunting in Victoria, Canada. So I decided to document a little bit myself for personal and also to share with you guys. One of them is probably because the policies on importing affect the costs of whiskeys and also what whiskeys they even get. So it's already kind of a sour taste right off the bat, just not knowing if they're going to have whiskeys that you even like there, like the typical bourbons that you'd find in Washington. You just might not even find those that you'd like to get a backup or refill of over in Canada. So just kind of a little scare factor there, I guess, maybe. Another one is online inventory. BC liquor stores provide an online inventory feature, so I guess it takes the thrill out of the hunt for people. Like I could just look up and see what they got there. It's kind of like Oregon. I can go on the Oregon liquor search and see what bottles are in stock prior to even going. I guess they had that there. I didn't know that at the time I was there, so it was more fun for me, but it's actually regulated. So, and also the pricing tends to be a lot higher due to taxes and importing costs. But that is only to scare off the residents that live in Canada. As you know, U.S. citizen we go, it's going to be a lot cheaper for us because the Canadian dollar versus the American dollar, there's a significant difference there. For example, $100 in Canadian money is going to be like $72 in American. And also another one is maybe people fear the customs, bringing whiskeys back into the U.S. from customs, which yeah, they do ask and check that. Not physically, they don't check. As long as you're honest with them and say, yeah, I got some whiskey in the back. They'll say how many bottles, and you just say, I got 3. And he's like, okay, personal use? Yes, okay. So I don't know if that part scares anybody, but it was pretty simple. They're very reasonable and they don't even check, so yeah. So I'm gonna give my experience now on my whiskey hunting in Victoria. So I went on vacation with my wife, wonderful place. My first time even out of the States in general, let alone Canada. Great place, beautiful. The scene was really nice and very awesome. So many awesome places to go to, by the way. I had no knowledge at all about the liquor scene, the spirit scene over there at all. So I went into it blind, which I think helped a lot. Only thing is that I've noticed, I've been to about like maybe 5 or 6 different stores, no store picks anywhere, which is kind of, I think, the biggest letdown for me because I'm a big fan of store picks and I usually like to go for those. And I noticed there's actually a lot of scotch. There's a lot more interesting scotches than there would be bourbons, which is, I guess that made me happy because I really do like scotch a lot too. So I was not at all disappointed. I was actually very happy to see that. And the prices were actually better too. They don't have any liquor in grocery stores, unfortunately. I really like going into like independent grocery stores, meeting the people there, make friends with the guy there at the liquor, and usually they get some interesting things there, which is actually we cover in the video here, wherever it's gonna be, about how we find our allocated bottles. Check that out if you'd like as well. But yeah, they sell like wine, beer, but no liquor at all in grocery stores. So I'm gonna get into the stores now. The first store I went to is Vintage Spirits. And the first day we arrived there, actually, that's the first place I went to. And they had actually, like I mentioned, a pretty good selection of scotch, which I really like to see. And for the lower prices too. Pretty standard selection of bourbon, honestly. There was one bourbon there that I had my eye on though. And I asked about it, the guy, and he was, I think I rubbed him the wrong way. I don't think he really liked me. He was just kind of a little weird with me. So I didn't even film in there at all. Maybe that's why. I just didn't want to piss him off even more so. The second place I want to talk about is Swans. I didn't get anything from this place, but I want to give credit to this place simply because of the guy that's in there that runs the store. Super nice guy. He promotes local whiskey there. I really like getting into local whiskey and supporting the local brands. But he's also very knowledgeable in like wine and beers as well. He's not like some exclusive whiskey only guy. He actually doesn't know much about whiskey at all, but knowledgeable about what they have locally. So definitely worth checking out and having a chat. All right, and this third place I'll talk about is the Strath. I'm just gonna cover these 3 today. Then the Strath is probably gonna be the best place for bourbon that you'll go to, at least that I went to. This had a bigger selection of bourbons. At this place, I did see some interesting bourbons behind the counter as well. So that was kind of cool. got some footage as well of what they have. So this is a first for me. I saw I saw Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace on the shelf, which is great, but the E.H. Taylor, I've never seen an E.H. Taylor, small batch even, on the shelves like that, let alone rows of it. That was pretty cool. That was cool to see. Oh, by the way, this is Booker Heaven. I saw a ton of Bookers. I think the second one released of this year is the Lumberyard batch. That's the only one I saw. They have that everywhere. I personally didn't grab any Bookers this time, but yeah, they're everywhere there. It's pretty cool for cheaper than Washington as well. So, all right, so before getting into the bottles that I got and where I got them from, what I would do if I were to go hunting again for the first time. I was very casual about it, and I made it a point to make it a stop along with all the other stores that we were checking out there. So I basically walked from liquor store to liquor store, not intentionally really. It was just checking out the scene, checking out a couple bars, little restaurants, some food, and other stores, and then like liquor stores were on the way if you plan your route out that way. I had no idea where to go. I didn't get any recommendations at all. I just kind of blindsided it. And I think that's one good thing to start off in. Just kind of be casual about it and go in blind. Don't check the site. I know I didn't know the site was a thing. I still haven't checked it yet, even now. I don't think you should do that. I don't even do that when I go to Oregon. I used to live in Oregon. I go there once in a while still to visit family. I don't even go on that website. I don't like to ruin it for myself because sometimes they might even have stuff that's not listed yet. And also that goes into don't expect anything. That's a good segue into just simply don't expect anything at all. Just go in and see what they have. Strike a conversation with the guy behind the counter. Let them know you're there for vacation. Just enjoy your time there. And you'll be surprised, I think, with some of the whiskey they have, especially if you go in not expecting anything. Another thing too, don't let the cost scare you away as a US citizen. It's gonna be way cheaper for the US citizens. As I mentioned before, like $100 bottle is gonna be $72 before tax or something like that. So now let's get to the yapping and get to the bottles that I got. I did get 3 bottles. I just wanted to stick with that. I didn't look up and see how many bottles were allowed at across customs. I didn't want to risk it, but so I got 3. These are the 3 that I got. First one is the E.H. Taylor small batch. It was so cool to find. I never saw it on the shelf like that. And I think it was like 106, 108 in Canada. So whatever that equates to here, I think I paid like 82 out the door, 80 out the door, something like that. Which is great for me because in Washington, that's basically like almost like finding one for MSRP here. I didn't get it for me. I got it for a friend who really loves E.H. Taylor small batches and never had his own bottle. So that's actually for a friend, and I want to have it for him. So. And the second bottle that I'm really, really excited that I actually found, it was at the Strath. And my gosh, I've never seen it at this price before. I was very shocked. I grabbed the Hedonism by Compass Box, the blended scotch. I've never even seen this. I didn't even know this came in a box like this. Every time I saw it in Washington or anywhere else, it's just the bottle up on the shelf. But man, I'm really upset about this guy here in Washington and everywhere else basically. About a year ago, maybe a little bit more, it was like $99, $100 before tax in Washington, which is what it's $100 bottle of whiskey. And I can attest to that. It's very, very good. But out of nowhere, they just raised the price to like $135, and now I don't see it any cheaper than like $169 anywhere, especially here in Washington before tax. That's nuts. But I saw it there, and I think I paid like exactly $100 out the door after the whole, Canadian dollar to US dollar conversion thing. I think that's what I spent on this bottle. I was so excited to do that. Absolutely am I gonna do that. It's been like a year since I've even tasted this, so really excited to get into it, let alone it comes in a box. Fancy. And this third one, I am really excited that I got. I love this bottle. I've tasted it before, never got my hands on one before. It's going to be the Michter's Barrel Strength Toasted Barrel Finish Straight Rye. I'm very happy I got this one, very interested. So this is the bottle that I found at Vintage Spirits. The day we left, I went back saying like, wait a second, I wonder what the conversion on that is. So I went back, had him scan it. And this guy was actually really cool. I said, can we scan it, just see what it would be for me? And he did it, he did the math for me. And I got it for like 208 out the door, which I was very happy about. Because as far as I know, and as far as anybody knows, I bought this here in Washington for MSRP. MSRP is like what, 150 or something for this bottle? Maybe less, I don't know. But the tax here in Washington is insane for liquor, so it would go up to basically 200 anyways. I felt good about it. It's my first time ever seeing this bottle in my bar, so I definitely wanted to snag that. That is the third bottle that I grabbed over in Victoria. Actually, I wanted to also do this little side by side. Interested. I wonder what would be better, what I would enjoy more. Probably the toasted, honestly. I love the toasted, but we'll see. Maybe we'll do a video on that one day. And then I actually did get another bottle on the way back, coming back home. It was a heck of a drive, about 2.5, close to 3-hour drive. So I hit some stores on the way, and on my way back, I grabbed a Weller 12-year backup for $65 out the door in Washington, which is really good because I think it's like $52 before tax, but went up to $65. That's just Washington for you folks. So yeah, that's my experience over at British Columbia, Victoria, Canada. I also do want to give a special thanks to our Patreon members. We love and appreciate you guys so dearly. This was Brothers Barrel with Everything Whiskey. Thank you for sticking to the end of the video. Please drink responsibly, and don't worry, the next videos are going to be both of us again with the professional setup, the mics, the camera, the action. So sorry about this unprofessional video, but you're real for sticking to the end.